commemorate the 10-year departure of His Holiness Pope Shenouda III. Our Patriarch, Pope Shenouda III, the Patriarch number 117, passed away in the 17th of March 2012. So today commemorate 10 years of his departure. Pope Shenouda III was a man of God in all the destination of his entire life. I'm going to mention quickly some destination in his life. Before being a monk in Deir Suria, he was Nazir Gayet. And being a man, servant, he started to design a magazine called Sunday School Magazine, Majallet Madras al-Ahad. And he started to write in this magazine all the spiritual articles. So before being a monk, he was a man of God. He was working, but he established this magazine to publish and to explain the Bible. Then after this, he left this destination number 2. He left the world and went to the wilderness and went to the Syrian monastery and was ordained as a monk. While being a monk, he designed a book, very important book. I highly recommend all of you to gain this book, called The Release of the Spirit. Release of the Spirit. While he was in the monastery, this book is talking about your spirit and what will happen to you after death. And then the grace of God chose him to be the bishop, monk, priest, and became a bishop of education. And by the way, this is the first position in the Coptic Orthodox Church that Pope Cyril VI created as a bishop of education. When he became a bishop of education in the name of Shunudة. By the way, his name, when he was in the monastery of Syrian, his name was Antonius Syriani. And then after this he became Bishop Shunudة, Bishop of Education. In that period, we worked very hard in the theological college in Egypt and with the High Institute of Coptic Studies in Egypt. And then Pope Cyril VI passed away, and the grace of God chose him to be our Patriarch number 117. And this happened in 1971, and he served his people from 1971 to 2012, approximately how many years? 71, 29, 12, 39 years, right? 39 years serving the people in all honesty and integrity. He served the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt and the Coptic Orthodox Church in the land of migration. He is the cause of establishing the Diocese of Sydney. He is the one who ordained me as a Bishop of Sydney. He is the one who ordained me as a priest. He is the one who visited the Diocese of Sydney after my ordination. And I'm going to conclude by saying a story that happened between His Holiness Pope Shenouda and me. After my ordination, I spent time in Egypt to prepare for the Australian visa. He said to me, I'm going to sit down with you for many meetings to explain to you how to work and how to shepherd the people in Sydney. So he had many meetings with me. In the last meeting, he said, come up in my cell, up. His cell was in the 3rd floor in the Papa residence in Cairo. So I went. By the way, we are the bishop, we have only to say yes, obedient to our superiors. So I went to his cell, I waited inside for a short time, and he came. And in his hand, this has happened exactly with me. In his hand, there was an envelope. Inside this envelope, can you imagine, in 2002, I was ordained in the 23rd of June 2002. Inside this envelope, at that time, was 2,000 American dollars. He gave it to me. I said, Your Holiness, I cannot take money from my father. I need to give this to the church. I cannot take from you. He said, be obedient, take the money, and be careful. I'm going to send with you some bishops to install you in the seat of the diocese, and look after the bishops, because you will have no money when you arrive. Have some money in your pocket. So I took the envelope and take the blessings, and then I went. After some days of his departure, I was in Egypt, and I have always a bottle of oil in my pocket, always. So he was in the final days in his life, and the secretary of His Holiness called all the metropolitan bishops 10 by 10 to come and see him. And they told us not to talk, just to say hello, kiss his hand, and go and went. So I entered in my room, because my number was the bishop number 101. So I was in the last rows. When I entered, he was very tired. And when he saw me, because he ordained me as a bishop, as a priest before, he said, hello, Bishop Daniel. I said, hello, Your Holiness. Are you well? He said, I am well. Everything is good. Do you want anything, Bishop Daniel? The secretary told us not to talk. The secretary of His Holiness told us not to talk. I said, yes, I need something from you, Your Holiness. So I pulled out the bottle of oil from my pocket. I gave it to him. I said, please, Your Holiness, bless this oil for me, so that whomever I anoint him, the Lord can bless him and heal him. And His Holiness blessed the oil and gave it back to me. And this oil is still with me in my safe. And I used to take drops from it every now and then to anoint the sick people and the needy people. He was a man of God. He departed in peace, and his body now in San Bishoy Monastery. May the Lord repose his soul in paradise and give us his blessing forever and ever. Amen.